everybody, Arnaldo Hoffman here with Master School Dances, and if you've seen my video on the DBR10, then I'm sure you can figure out which guy this is. This is the Yamaha DBR15. It is the biggest of the DBR series. So we're going to take a look at some of the features of this guy versus the 10-inch driver versus the DXR or even the DSR series, and then we'll talk a little bit about sound as well. So first of all, the DBR series, what are they? Well, they're the lower end of the Yamaha speakers. They're made for people that just need something affordable, that sounds amazing, that can't quite afford the DXR or the DSR series. As I mentioned in the other video, the big differences between the speakers is not the quality of sound. They're not going to sacrifice sound. Yamaha doesn't play that way. But what they did is they used lighter, more or less expensive plastic. They got rid of some of the extra features such as the super high powered amp. So for example, this guy here, your continuous wattage is 465 watts. Now 400 of that's going to the driver and 65 of that is going to your compression horn. Again, of course, you got your 15-inch cone with your 2.5-inch, what's it called? High end or the high driver, ferrite magnet. For those of you that want to know some of the extra features, the diaphragm on this guy is about 1.4 inches. It's got the 1-inch throat compression driver. For those of you that don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Look, this guy sounds amazing. But I'm going to cover that in just a little bit. Also, unlike the DSR and the DXR speakers, there is no rigging points on the top. You're not rigging this guy anytime soon. You can rig it from the side. You do have a couple of points on the bottom, but that's really about it. On the front, of course, we have a very attractive flat design, just a little bit of contour out on the ends here. And one of the things the Yamaha did, which is smart, is, I don't know if you can really see it here, but there's almost like little poles or rods that are sticking out. Basically, the goal of that is to not let this get bent. I don't know if you ever had it where you have a 15-inch speaker and something goes through it and it bends the whole piece because there's nothing holding it up. So basically, that's just going to prevent that from happening. Real nice rugged design. The plastic on this is the same plastic design or the same type as the DBR10. And when you first hold it, it does not feel, I'm telling you this right up front, it is not as rugged as the other speakers. Yamaha will tell you this. That's really where the difference is. If you're looking for something that can take a lot of abuse as far as the outer shell, this guy is not it. That's why they made this where it's a lower price point, and that's the one sacrifices. You are using a cheaper type of plastic, but it's not cheap in quality. It looks good. It's not just going to break when you touch it. It's not going to melt in the sun or anything silly like that, but it's not as rugged as the DXR or, of course, the wooden design of the DSR cabinet. The handles, of course, everything's nicely weighted, so there's no handle on the top, but there are handles on the side. You can carry one of them on each hand, walk around with it, no problem there. For a 15-inch cabinet, this guy's actually pretty lightweight too. So that is one of the real nice things about this series. If you do want a full sounding cabinet and maybe you're not able to lift it up high for one reason or another, all 15-inch speakers are heavy, but this is pretty lightweight compared to some of the other ones out there. On the back, we have the amp. So here's what we have. We have just like the DBR10, actually, these things are all identical. But just like, the DBR10, we have your mic line, 1/4-inch or XLR input, and you can switch between mic and line. You have your line with 1/4-inch XLR or RCA, and you have your through output. Now, if you didn't see the other video, this is actually pretty cool. So here's what happens. When I have this clicked in, it outputs from here to here. It'll output it through these XLRs, so I can daisy chain to the next speaker. If I only have that on, it only outputs the top one and not the bottom. So let's say, for example, if you're doing a ceremony and you're using fill-in sound maybe for the other side of the room, but you're only needing a microphone, you're not needing music, right? Then you can just plug your ceremony mic here, you have your music there, music and mic would come out of this speaker, and only sound would hook into the other speaker. On the right-hand side, we do have our digital contour, where you have your front of house, main, monitor, or off options, and there's a little picture that shows you the equalizer representation. And of course, you have your HPF, so you can have it at 100 hertz, 120 hertz, or completely off. Let me tell you, now let's go and talk about sound. When I have this on off and I have everything evened out, the sound is amazing. really, really deep lows. You're gonna feel like there's a subwoofer in there. Despite the lower wattage on this one compared to the others, the bass is not lacking, has a great bass response. Are you able to fill high school gyms with these guys? No, that's not what they were designed for. But if I'm doing a wedding and I don't want to lug the subs around, or you know those venues that don't allow a lot of bass because they're right next to somebody's house and they always complain, and just the fact that you have a sub makes them freak out, not a big deal. I'm just gonna bring 2 of these guys, call it a day, set them up on my tripod or, you know, on trusted totems or anything like that, and voila, done. But I still get a nice, good, clean bass response. If you are using subs, maybe like the DXS 15s, then I'll just put it at 100, put my 15s to match, and I have a great, beautiful sounding system on here. There's an option, of course, where you can use this guy as a monitor. If you want to use it as a monitor and you're also going to use it for weddings and events like that, put a blanket or something for this to lay down on, because again, this case is not as rugged as a DSR, so it will scratch a little bit easier. So again, just have something kind of padding it, or even maybe put a couple like rubber, those detachable rubber feet. I just wouldn't leave it flat on there because it will get scratched on there. Also, when I mentioned about rigging points in the bottom, it looks like there's also one right here. Just got to remove that out of there. And again, same thing as always, if you fly speakers, please consult a certified rigger or somebody that has plenty of experience, because you don't want to tackle this on your own with no help. Disaster results can occur. But if you have never flown a speaker before, yeah. If you have, then great, you know what to do. So again, that's the Yamaha DBR15. It's a beautiful sounding cabinet. We've already used it for a couple private events. We've also used it for a JROTC military ball at one of our high schools. No subs needed, and my DJ texted me saying it sounded amazing. It kept up with everybody in there. You know, it was a huge party. You know, it was maybe about 150, 200 high schoolers, and they kept up just fine. No peak or anything like that. Very happy with it. I know you guys will too. That's the Yamaha DBR15. My name is Arnaldo Wofferman with Master School Dances. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like, share with your friends, like the channel on YouTube, Facebook, etc. Good night and God bless.